Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now here in my hands, this is the Ruger PC Carbine. This for me is a new rifle in my firearms lineup. Now I am excited to get this in my hands. I've been thinking about a new firearm for a while, trying to rack my brain. What do I need it for? What are my objectives? Well, I happened to land on this Ruger PC Carbine for a number of reasons. Now today's video, a first look at this. This is by no means a new model, but it's new to me. So we're gonna get a first look at this. We're gonna talk about why, for me, this particular firearm did make a lot of sense, why I opted for this exact model, and what it might mean for you. And then in the future, you're certainly gonna see this in detail, both at the range for pretty much straight up, review of this particular firearm, but then also with other accessories and the different things that I'm gonna do with this. Well, with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now again, the Ruger PC Carbine. This is a 9mm carbine, in this particular model, the 19116. Now, keep in mind that, unfortunately, I'm in one of those states that just limits my overall capabilities. You could probably figure out exactly where I'm at if you looked into the specifications of this rifle. That's how annoying it can be. But, really for me, I did want to get the 19117, which had a slight variation from this particular model. The difference between the 19117 and then this here, the 19116. This does not have the threaded barrel. The 19117 did. But other than that, exactly the same firearm. So first and foremost, let's get into this. Why the PC Carbine? Well, bottom line is it's a 9mm carbine. That had a lot of advantages to me for what I need to do. In my opinion, this is a great place to go if you have a lot of 9mm ammo, if you have a 9mm handgun, if you have limitations or things you're trying to do. And that's exactly where this comes into play for me. And so if you've been watching my channel, you've heard me talk at length about my SIG P365 and 365 XL. At this point, I have committed to my 365 XL as my daily carry, as my self-defense handgun, and as really my primary go-to handgun. So where it's 9mm, I have a lot of 9mm ammo. It made a lot of sense for me to get a rifle in that same caliber because for a number of different reasons. First and foremost, I have the ammo. It's already here. It's easy for me to grab my ammo, hit the range, and just have something really fun that I can shoot. I like the fact that this is a pistol caliber. That's another advantage. Bottom line is, for me, everybody's range is going to have different rules. And in our pistol bays, we can only shoot pistol caliber. So for me to have a rifle that I can actually shoot in the pistol bays, that's pretty cool. It allows me to do some different things. It gives me more of that sort of plinking style. It gives me the flexibility to shoot both on the rifle range, but then also in the pistol range with my carbine. I like that. Next, this particular model, which I think is pretty cool. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen me talk a ton about my Ruger 1022, which is a takedown model. But here with the PC Carbine, also a takedown model. This works out extremely well for me, where I'm invested in a number of things. I'm invested in my carrying cases. I'm invested into some of the different methods that I use to get my firearms to the range. So the fact that this is also a takedown unit, really, really cool. So that's a great advantage. And then last but not least, this particular model is built out enough to allow me to do a lot of the accessorizing that I like to do with my firearms. As somebody who's a YouTube host, I need to run this channel with content. I need to be able to build out my firearms in order to keep moving forward with the channel, to test different things like optics, to test different things like mounts and stands and all the different sort of things that can go onto a rifle. Well, this works out very well where this particular model, again, some of these PC carbines are different. They're all a little bit different, but this one here having the handguard and all the M-lock slots, that to me gives me a ton of flexibility, a ton of versatility, and the ability to really leverage a huge number of different accessories, whether it's lights, whether it's optics, whether it's bipods. I mean, you name it, this can be accessorized quite a bit, and I like that. Now, the next thing is when you look at the buttstock. This, unfortunately, for me, is something that I'm just stuck with. I cannot get pistol grips and expandable or collapsible stocks. So having the fixed stock is kind of a must. Having the standard grip is kind of a must. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, I do technically have the ability to get a threaded barrel. It would have been nice to be able to play with different devices on the end of the firearm, but it's really hard to come by. The 19117 completely sold out everywhere. So to get my hands on this at this particular point in time really was just something that I jumped at. So I said, for lack of a threaded barrel, this is gonna do. And the nice thing about the factory setup, this is a fluted barrel, cold forged fluted barrel, very heavy duty. This thing is built out to really handle running a lot of ammo through it, which is awesome. So when you look at other people's reviews, they talk about the reliability, they talk about the accuracy, they talk about the fun factor. So all things pointed to me that this would be a great direction to go. Again, the flexibility in the overall kind of build out, my ability just to load this up with my 9mm ammo. And well, the other thing, and this is something that for me, I'm just not quite there, but I could be, and that's the fact that you can actually swap this out to take Glock magazines. Right now, this is the Ruger standard like SR magazine. I personally do not necessarily care. This is fine for me, but it does come with the Glock magazine adapter. So as I grow in firearms and my sort of needs change and I get into different other handguns for different reasons, having flexibility here, this could pay off. And last but not least, another great reason why for me, this happened to make a lot of sense. Again, if you've been watching my channel, you see me talking constantly about my Ruger 1022, which although right now I have it built out a little bit different, there's a lot of sort of similarities in the functionality and how this operates. So to be able to translate what I've come to a little bit of muscle memory here, I'm hoping will translate nicely to the PC Carbine. So at this point, really just a first look at this. What else came in the box? Let's take a quick look at that, which as you can see is your standard Ruger cardboard box. Comes with some hex keys to do all the work that you need. Some spacers for the end of your butt pad on the stock. So here you can see the pad is able to be spaced out with these. For me personally, I'm gonna have to sort of feel this out, but yeah, I could probably use a little bit of distance just so that I can get the appropriate sort of cheek mounting. This feels about right here, which means I probably need that extension. Otherwise, I'm leaning a little bit forward to get on my sights, so that's something I'll have to play with. You get your standard manual. You get a couple of different sort of bits of information in here. Your Ruger sticker, which is cool. A lock, which definitely helps out. And as I mentioned, that Glock Mag Adapter. So this is that Glock Mag Adapter. Does allow you to, again, utilize your Glock mags. Now, there is a couple of other things worth noting before we finalize our thoughts here. This also comes with a pick rail, which if you see here is an M-lock pick rail for the bottom or underside, or I guess you could put it anywhere on your handguard. But for me, I'll probably put it on the underside, which will help me with my accessories, lights, bipod, hard to say. I am sort of really, I'd say at this point, accessorizing with a lot of M-lock. So this is going to come into play and work out nicely. Then on top of it, pretty standard in terms of your mag release. You can see here, it is ambidextrous, so that can be swapped out, which is cool. I don't know. I'm going to have to sort of play with this and feel it out and what works for me. My initial instinct is I would like to have it maybe on this side to drop it out. I don't know. We'll have to feel that out. I guess I can get on it with my thumb. Either way, that's something that I'll play with. but nice to have the ability, I guess, to really swap out these mags, whether or not I go with the Ruger mags or the Glock mags, hard to say. Ambidextrous charging handle, so the ability to switch sides on this. You'll notice that this is locked in place. You end up with this sort of standard Ruger lock here, which in reality, you'll notice it does just thread in on one side or the other. It looks like you get on it with that hex key. So that's something else that I'll have to play with. So that's another thing. Just nice that this is flexible. It's pretty much like ambidextrous. It gives you the ability to set this up for your needs. I mean, if I was here gonna charge this, yeah, I'd probably keep it on the right hand side versus the left. I don't know. Again, something to play with, figure it out, but that's the enjoyment of getting into a new firearm. And last but not least, pretty straightforward in terms of the sights. You'll notice just your standard sort of iron sights here. Very easy. They are adjustable, which is nice. So if you have to adjust it, at least in terms of the rear sight, again, on the front, I don't think they're adjustable, but the rear, definitely adjustable. And it looks like in terms of both elevation and windage, so that's cool. And so all in all, just a real quick first look and impression of the Ruger PC Carbine. Again, this model, the 19116. Very nicely done. I am excited for this. I think it's just going to bring me some simple enjoyment. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something that's going to allow me to experiment a little bit more and really, like I mentioned, stay within the pistol range, which to me is kind of a big deal. Having the flexibility to break this down, the takedown model, that's cool. And to leverage the ammo that I already have plenty of lying around, that's just awesome. And if it came down to the need to sort of bug out, having a whole bunch of 9mm, having my handgun, having my carbine, and the ability to kind of use both of these interchangeably, I think that's going to work out to my advantage. And so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Much more to come with this Ruger PC Carbine. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoy this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more my primary gear. On that channel, I cover everything from hiking, camping, and backpacking excursions, all the gear that goes with it. So from backpacks, sleep systems, shelter systems, knives, axes, flashlights, you name it, that's my Outer Limitless YouTube channel. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.